Hello there, my RPG lovers, and welcome to another video. THQ Nordic just had a gaming showcase, which was highly anticipated, especially by Gothic and Darksiders fanbase. Unfortunately, this showcase had nothing related to Darksiders 4, which was a bit disappointing, but it had a lot of stuff related to Gothic games. From Gothic 1 Classic on mobile phones, to new features for Gothic 1 Remake, another look at Gothic Classic Trilogy on consoles, a new Gothic board game, as well as the announcement for a new game by Alchemia. Kind of. This showcase also had some updates about other games that I personally care about, like Titan Quest II for example, which is getting regular content updates in early access. I also hoped to see some more info about Fatekeeper, the first-person action RPG that came out in early access recently. But this showcase had nothing about that game, even though it was in the trailer. Anyway, we are going to break down all the news for Gothic-related games and upcoming releases, and also talk a little bit about other games I mentioned later in the video. But first, please support the channel by listening to today's sponsor. Zombie Waves is a fast-paced 3D bullet heaven and roguelite shooter that combines intensive survival gameplay with deep build customization. This game just celebrated its 3rd anniversary with over 20 million downloads, and it has 4.7 rating on Apple Store. In Zombie Waves you have dynamic roguelite build choices. During every run, collecting enough energy stones triggers a skill upgrade choice. You can choose one of 3 random upgrades to customize your build, ensuring that no 2 runs are the same. There are various abilities to choose from: burn, freeze, spitting bullets, meteors, and lightning, to name a few. Each match in the campaign mode is 112 minutes long, and it starts slow, but it ends with crowd control chaos. There is a variety of weapons to choose from, and each one has different abilities that require different upgrades to choose during the battle. The game offers a variety of modes to keep players engaged. While the campaign mode serves as the main path for progression, there are numerous other game modes to explore. For example, in Apex Trial, you must complete a run in the shortest time possible, while Core Testworks challenges you to climb floors of increasing difficulty. Additionally, players have access to a personal camp, your guilds, and many other modes to discover. You will also get a ton of free resources simply by completing easy tasks in the game. Speaking of rewards, get a special starter pack worth $50 by using my link in the video description or by scanning the QR code on the screen. This offer is only available for the next 30 days. Before the showcase even began, we got a little trailer about Gothic 1 Classic on mobile. Well, on Apple Store to be more precise, which is disappointing because I was hoping to see this mobile port on Android as well. I don't see a reason why they would keep it exclusively on the Apple Store, but it is what it is. Putting that aside, this version of the game looks a little bit different compared to Gothic Classic on other platforms. They mentioned new graphics and new features, which was definitely surprising to see. The only noticeable difference that I could see from this trailer is the lighting, which makes the game looks a little bit less outdated compared to other console ports and the new UI, but that's about it. I didn't see any difference when it comes to graphics other than that, but I might be wrong. The new UI looks very similar to Gothic console ports, with some exceptions I guess. There is a new player bar with health and mana in the upper left corner of the screen, and your typical touch controls on the right side of the screen. However, they also pointed out that you can choose to play the game with a controller, which is probably how I'm going to play it. The biggest surprise here are those new features they mentioned. We don't know anything about that except the first-person mode that we could see in a couple of frames. Now the game seems completely playable in the first-person mode, which was not possible before. You could only enter the first-person camera mode and look around in Classic Gothic, but it was not usable during the normal gameplay. So this mobile port aims to change that, I guess, judging by this trailer at least. I'm wondering about those other new quote-unquote features, but this is the only thing we saw in the trailer that seems completely new. This could potentially be a big deal actually, but I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill, so we'll have to wait and see. I'll definitely cover this version of the game when the time comes, so stick around for that. Then we had a special message video from Alchemia Interactive later in the showcase. People from Alchemia delivered a thank you message to fans of Gothic Remake, but they also talked about the future of this game and the upcoming new title. Gothic 1 Remake is going to continue receiving patches and updates in the next couple of months, which is good to hear. What was not so good about this is the state of the game after those patches. Pretty much every major patch in the past couple of months managed to break something. This seems like the internal testing problem in the studio, but whatever it is, it's really annoying, and I hope that all future patches won't have those issues. I had very little issues with 1.0 version of the game, but some of the patches they released made the gameplay experience worse, in a way. Those patches had a lot of fixes and quality of life improvements, that's for sure, but somehow they managed to break something along the way. They really need to get this under control with future patches, it goes without saying. The game could be a lot more polished, and I hope that's exactly what those future patches will do. What has to be a much more exciting topic for Gothic 1 Remake is the new features they mentioned. Some of those features are not that exciting, like the photo mode and Marvin mode, but I will never say no to more features in games I love. The photo mode is like whatever to me, but Marvin mode is more interesting for sure. If you're not familiar with this terminology, Marvin is basically the name for the built-in console mode and cheats. Mod kit for the game is also announced, which is one of the most exciting features. That's because old Gothic games had an incredible modding support, which is still going strong in 2026. From total conversions like Chronicles of Mortana to smaller mods that try to balance the game out and add more content, the modding support was always amazing for these games. Gothic 3 modding support was lagging behind a little bit, but in the past 5 years or so we got to see some amazing mods for that game as well, and you can check out a lot of videos on my channel about this topic if you wish. So that's why this modding kit for Gothic 1 Remake makes me really excited for the game. It's going to be fun to see what modders can do with the extended modding support of the game and the new mod kits. Last but definitely not least, we have alternative progression mechanics. We have no idea what they mean by this, but it sounds like this could affect the entire playthrough of the game. The progression system in Gothic 1 Remake, and all Gothic games as a matter of fact, is one of the most important gameplay features. Gothic 1 Remake already had some extra features related to this, which would help you control your playthrough with a couple of different sliders. You can affect the economy of the game, the difficulty of the combats, and the progression system itself. The slider for progression system affects the experience gain and leveling up rate, so I'm wondering if those new progression features are going to be related to this, or it's going to be something entirely different, we have no idea. It's definitely an interesting choice, but we'll have to wait and see what they exactly mean by this. It could even be a brand new difficulty setting or a new Game Plus option. Come to think of it, the new Game Plus would make the most sense as a new game feature related to progression. Although it's hard to see how this would work in a Gothic game without actually screwing up the progression system, especially if you start a new game with endgame items, but let's not read too much into this without an actual confirmation. And at the very end of the thank you message video, they said this.
And at one point, we're gonna announce our new game, which will probably be next year at this showcase.
Yeah, this is basically like an announcement for an announcement. They said they will probably announce their new game at this showcase next year. And before they said this, they also said, we are here for the long run. This was not exactly the confirmation we were looking for when it comes to future game projects from the studio, but it's good enough, I guess. I'm guessing it's still too early to talk about that project, even though we have the reason to believe that new game has already been in development for a while. You can check out some of my previous videos about this topic if you're curious. I would be very surprised or shocked even if that new game is not Gothic 2 Remake, because it's the next logical step when it comes to Alchemy Interactive and THQ Nordic. They have almost everything they need for the sequel, and they won't need to start from scratch like with the first remake. Like I said, check out those previous videos if you want to learn more about those topics. That being said, a lot of people seem disappointed with the showcase because they were expecting something more. I also expected a little bit more, especially from Gothic topics, but it's only been a few months since the first remake, so it's definitely too early for crazy announcements. But they knew there is a certain dose of hype for this showcase when it comes to Gothic fans, so they had to include something about the next big projects. So they basically soft confirmed the next game, which is 99% going to be Gothic 2 Remake. After the thank you message video, we got to see a new trailer for Gothic Classic Trilogy on consoles. Gothic 1 Classic is already out on pretty much all current-gen consoles, while other Gothic games are coming soon. Gothic 2 Classic has been on a Switch for a while, but PS5 and Xbox consoles are getting this port in September. The most interesting title here for me personally is definitely Gothic 3 on consoles. We already know how Gothic 1 and Gothic 2 work on consoles to some extent, but getting to see Gothic 3 on consoles is going to be interesting. That game was always notorious for performance issues on PC, but this port of the game is going to have all of the important community patches, which basically fixed 99 of those problems. Gothic 3 is even coming out on Switch too, and I'm definitely going to get that version of the game as well, along with all other physical versions of those console ports. Gothic 3 always had a special place in my heart, despite all of the issues it has. Speaking of which, this game received some amazing mods in the past 5 years or so, which substantially improved the gameplay experience. Those mods won't be available for console version, obviously, which is a little bit sad, but even so, it's cool to see this game on consoles finally after about 20 years. Gothic is also getting a new board game called A Shadow's Quest, which is cool if you like board games, I guess. I'm not super invested into board games, but I'm definitely going to get this one. And that will conclude the Gothic part of the showcase. I think the best part about the showcase and the most extensive part was about Titan Quest 2. Titan Quest 2 is still in early access, but is getting regular updates and new contents. We got to see a couple of new masteries in the last couple of months and more story chapters. This game was really enjoyable for me even when it first released in early access, but now it's shaping up to be a proper ARPG. The new Spirit Mastery looks pretty cool, and there are some new crafting features in the latest update, which I'm definitely going to check out soon, and quite possibly make a video about it. Speaking of ARPGs, Sacred 2 Remaster is coming out on Switch console soon, but we still don't have the exact release dates. I'm also going to cover that console port for sure, so stick around for that. I'm kind of sad we didn't get to see anything new about Fatekeeper and Darksiders 4. The reason for that is quite possibly very simple. They are not ready to show anything new, but still, this will make the showcase a lot better in general. Overall, a lot of people thought this showcase was underwhelming, and I can definitely see why. I thought it was okay at best, and we still got to see some interesting and exciting things. Anyways, tell me your opinion about the showcase in the comments below. What do you think about Gothic 1 Remake news and the new game from Alchemia, and do you even care about some of these other games in the showcase? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. And if you want to go a step further, consider supporting your boy by becoming a YouTube channel member or a Patreon. Huge thanks to all my current supporters, and I'll see ya in the next one.